Hi everybody, welcome back to So You Want to Live in Bahia. My name is Kitty and I'm a gringa living here in Salvador, Bahia, Brazil for 12 years now. And I am a licensed real estate agent. So let's talk about real estate, shall we? Basically, if you buy real estate here, you have two options: buy new, buy used. And today I want to talk about new options because I think that they are exciting. I like them. So let's get into it. New construction. So let's go over really quick the pluses and minuses on new construction. First, you're gonna get the newest building in town, and it's gonna be very nice because they're making these buildings much nicer these days. My favorite feature would be the pool on the roof, which is very nice, which means that even if you bought an apartment with no sea views, you still have access to sea views. And they're just made nicer. They're made these days for renting. Sometimes they'll even have the keypad lock with the code, so that you can rent it much more easily, change the codes easily. So that's why I like the new apartments. They're just nice. And if you don't have the money, don't worry. You're paying it off in like 3 years or so. And so it's the only way you can really get financing here if you're not a resident. Now, the drawbacks would be that if you're itching to buy an apartment now, you have to wait. You're paying for the apartment, but it's not yours until it's finished, right? That's a drawback. And then another thing is that there will be extra costs associated with your apartment. Just because you look at the tabela, which we'll get into, the spreadsheet, that's not going to be the price. There's so many other things you need to do. For instance, cabinets, that's the biggest thing. Cabinets can be pricey, and they'll take more than a month to have them made. And when especially these newer buildings, these apartments are a bit small. And so I super recommend you get custom-made cabinets because you need to really use your space to the best of your space's ability. All right, so I wanted to get into it with you how it works to check this all out. Sometimes the projects get advertised and get completely sold out before there's any advertising material because there's a license that goes with being able to show the advertising material. So a lot of times I will go to one of the bigger agencies, and I can help you with this. I'll go there and I'll take a video chat with my client and show them everything. I am not allowed to take photos of anything. Everything is super hush secret. And so I'll show you just a couple things. Well, they'll show you like printed material of how it's gonna look, maybe even a video. And one thing that's interesting I wanna get into right now is this drone video. And this is of a building in town, Duetto, which I have an apartment I rent on the 14th floor if you're interested. Such a nice building. But this here is great. Look at this. This gives you a general idea, if you buy an apartment on this floor, what your sea views are gonna be like. And then you'll see, obviously, like the higher you go up, the nicer they are, the less buildings in the way. So this is great. You get to see that. In addition to that, you're gonna see a tabela of preços. Thought I'd go over this with you just to sort of explain it a little bit, how it works. Now this one, I blocked out the building because I didn't ask them if I can do this, so. This is a new building in Bahia, I'll let you know that much. So the first column there, aparto is apartment. And then the next column is number of vagas. And that hot means rotativa. So basically you don't have your own dedicated space. There's a space for your car, but it's just kind of first come, first serve. Which I don't think is that bad because sometimes some of these buildings have really crappy spaces in the corner, and then you don't have to worry that that's your permanent space. Now the third column is the private area, just is basically the size of your apartment, because on an escritora, that's your private area, but then the area total will also be including your garage space. So that garage space is not included in that. And then the valor de venda, so how much does it cost? So look at this, on the first floor, the smallest apartment they have, 35.55 meters squared, it's almost 519,000 reais. Prices, unfortunately, are going up. Now this building, I haven't seen the drone footage for it, but because most likely these buildings have levels of garages, you might already have sea views on this floor. So how it works, your payments work, is that you have $100 as your down payment, it's 15,202. And in the beginning, they're asking for that amount every 30 days. So you have it 30, 60 days, and 90 days. And then you have 36 monthly payments at 1,520. And then the semestre is semestral, or every 6 months, half of a year, you're paying the 15,202. And then at the very end, the parcela única is the 60%. In this case, it'd be 312,257 reais. And then real quick, we'll just go at the bottom just so you understand. Conditions, commercial. Number one, the construction is going to start in July of 2023. So it's already started in this building and will conclude in February of 2026. Their forecast is it will take less than 3 years to make this. They always take a little bit longer than anticipated, but that's not bad. The second one is saying the parcelas, that's your payments. And it's basically saying that here in Brazil, we have different indexes, and this one, the INCC-M, I'm assuming this one is basically they're allowed to raise it. Your payments will not stay this exact same amount every month. They're going to be raised a bit depending on these indexes or indices, Latin. And so that's saying that that's going to happen, but it doesn't go up by that much. And then at the very end, after the expedition of the IBTC, then you have a different index. Basically, at the very end, you have a certain amount of time to pay that 60%. And if you don't, then you're going to be charged interest based on this index here, the IGPM FGV. If you've ever rented long-term here, you've probably seen that, how yearly adjustments on rent are usually based. Now, the IBTC is interesting. You should ask the agent who is responsible for paying for that. A lot of times it is the building. The BGC is basically the one huge inspection that happens to make sure that the building is habitable, that you can live there, everything's fine, everything was made properly, the building's not gonna collapse. And then number 3, conditions on payment, is just saying that you're gonna start the monthly payments 4 months after the signature on the contract, and that the semestral payments will happen 6 months after the signature on your contract. And that the parcela única, that's the very last payment, you have to just check the contract for more information about how that needs to be done and when, and the who, what, when, where, why of that. Again, I think it's really great way to be able to afford an apartment that you maybe couldn't afford otherwise, because you basically have 3 years to figure out how you're gonna get that big chunk of money to pay off the rest. I like these apartments. I think that they are a very interesting option in buying. And a lot of people here buy them and resell them. So a lot of people buy this for an investment. Why? Because back in the day, you could buy and sell for much more money when it came time to really, after the BGC, after the building is now fine to live in, then you have people who are like, I want to buy in that building. And so the people who purchased early then sell for a profit. So if you see a building you like and it is all 100% sold, don't worry. Put your name on a list and hopefully you'll have a crack at buying that apartment later on. Anyhow, I hope that was interesting for you. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're interested in doing so. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Beijos!